Can you talk to me about Meta earnings in a few days in Apple? Yeah, sure. You're kind of a freaky frog, AJ, but I dig it. I'm down with it. Okay, so Meta, do you guys see a pattern formation on Meta? Are any students of the methodology familiar with any patterns that they might see on Meta? I'm gonna let you guys type in the chat. Okay, I'm watching the chat right now. So submit to me. Let me know what you guys think. I see a pattern on this. Do you see a potential pattern on this? Okay, you think it's a bull flag, AJ? What else? Give me some other. This is what AJ's saying. That's not the pattern that I saw. What other patterns do you guys think that you see? I mean, you could argue that it's bullish, but actually I'm talking about a bearish signal. Jim got it. There you go. Yeah, that's correct. Yep. It is a head and shoulders pattern. And let me show you where that is. Head and shoulders pattern. Let's go something like this. Head, shoulder, right shoulder. And I don't know where this side would play out, but look at this beautiful head and shoulders pattern. Potentially, we just need this right shoulder to come down. Yes, and that's the great thing about charting, right? About using TradingView and being able to chart things is you can see multiple types of patterns, bullish and bearish patterns. Head and shoulders pattern is bearish, absolutely. But that bull flag or kind of breakout that you're looking at earlier could potentially be bullish. So if, let's say, the head and shoulders plays out there, the anticipated move would be essentially a 10% move down, right? However, you could also argue that Meta is breaking up of this down-sloping trend line and therefore is bullish, right? Is actually bullish, and you're expecting to move higher. However, Meta is trading at all-time highs. And what do we know? This is going to be a teachable moment. Okay. Love those things. So for Meta, right? For Meta here, there's two patterns that we can clearly see. You can see this downsloping trend line, kind of a pseudo bull flag, but downsloping trend line it's breaking up of. And what do we know about downsloping trend lines? They favor a move higher, right? However, we also, as I demonstrated earlier, see a beautiful head and potentially head and shoulders pattern should this right shoulder finish forming and break. Head and shoulders pattern with a measured move down 10%. Now you have these two patterns, bullish and bearish, but look where Meta is on the charts. And this is so important, guys. Meta is trading nearer at its all-time highs. In fact, it was at its all-time highs last month, like basically a month ago. So we have two patterns at all-time highs. Do you think that a bullish pattern at all-time highs or a bearish pattern at all-time highs is more likely to play out? Mind you, since these lows here, we've moved up basically in a straight line up 56. So I would argue that it's actually bearish, right? That this bearish pattern on Meta is more likely to play out than the bullish pattern. Right, I'll acknowledge that there is a bullish pattern on Meta, but I also have to say that this bearish pattern for me takes priority. Also, Meta is at double top, right? So tons and tons of things. But I see that David, it is bearish head and shoulders. I would not consider that a bear flag, although you kind of could, right? You could say that you had this down move and then kind of something like that. But I would say more than anything, head and shoulders pattern. So AJ, I would say that Meta favors a move to the downside into earnings. Okay. But if you're interested in trading that with us, we're actually going to go live and trade that live in our earnings trader service, which is part of Smart Money Stocks and ETFs. But yeah, that's super cool. Look at that. Head and shoulders pattern at the highs of the charts, more likely to play out than a trend line break. Not that the trend line break isn't valid, because it's definitely there.